Well, there. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. As we're a little earlier today, like I said, we're trying to vary the time so we get different people. It is Thursday. We have one more day left in this series about how to deal with a liar. If you are new to my series, well, welcome. We talk about a different topic every single week, and I get specific about that every day, a little more granular. If you are coming back and you're a loyal viewer, well, welcome back. It is always great to have you. Hey, give me a little love on Facebook, John C. Morley, Serial Entrepreneur, Facebook, LinkedIn profile, John C. Morley, Serial Entrepreneur, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Periscope. Again, show me some love there. If, like I said, also remember, beside doing that, why don't you comment below? What's your experience been this week with liars? Or just in general, have you had some unique experience maybe you'd like to share? Don't include their name, obviously, or the location, but just tell us about the situation if you can. And then be sure to tag your friends, colleagues, and associates and share it out with every one of them that you know here on social media. And then guess what? I'm going to ask you to pay attention because we have a great cast for you today. When we think about a liar, a lot probably goes through your head. I know it goes through my head. Is the person disrespecting you? Like what's really going on? And I think the biggest thing that happens is somebody betrayed me. So when we talk about dealing with a liar, we want to confirm that the facts are correct. So if somebody says something and you're just wanting to be sure, okay, could you say that again? I just want to make sure I have that correct. Oftentimes they won't, or they'll say it again and they'll say, well, it said it differently. It's like, oh, I must have made a mistake on that. This is what I meant. And that's okay, because that can happen sometimes. Remember that it is a behavior and it's not a person. So you have to keep that almost separate from them, right? One of the challenges most people have when they're presented with a liar is the personalization. Okay. And it can be a challenge for people because some people do things because it's part of their behavior. But remember, lying is a behavior, it's not a person. Okay. We talked about different types of lying behavior. Um, One good thing I like to do is ask the person to recite the story in reverse. Huh. Now, why would I ask you to do that? Well, that's a great question. It's because when you say the story in reverse, somebody has to know what the story is. If they don't, they're not going to be able to do it. All right. And if they can't, then good chances they're probably lying. Calling them out. I don't like to call people out on a lie. Okay. Generally, if you feel you must, you can say, hey, are you sure you're correct about that? Or that's not what I heard from the other workers, or that's not what I hear from. You want to be a little tactful in how you do it. Okay. But most important, ladies and gentlemen, remember your integrity. Don't stoop down to their level and don't lie. Don't do that. Okay. Reflect about what you're going to say before you do it. Because remember, you cannot take away what passes your lips. Accept who they are, but realize that it's about a situation. Okay. It's not a person, it's a behavior. And we talked about this before. People can lie because they're under stressful situations. Now, that doesn't mean that it's right for them to lie, ladies and gentlemen. No, not at all. It just means that there might be a reason to why it's happening today. So if that person is lying today and they've never lied in their life before, maybe they just discovered their best friend died or something happened in their life, that doesn't make it right. But what it does mean is that you at least know why they're probably lying. Now, if they don't lie any other days, then that's probably a good sign that it happened because of, a situation that happened in their life, right? That's probably, the most important thing. And so when we talk about how to deal with a liar, it's not a battle plan. Okay. So people say to me, well, gee, you know what? Maybe you should try to outsmart a liar. Well, You can take notes of the inconsistencies. And when someone lies, just pay attention to these and say, I thought you said you left your home at 4 p.m. No, 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 no. I didn't leave my home actually until 7 p.m. Okay. No problem. And so you also want to look for micro expressions in their face. If things are like changing a little bit, that's an indication that they're lying. If somebody puts in too many extra details, like, okay, I went to the market, and when I went to the market, I was going to pick something up, and there was this big display. And as I was about to get the can off the top, this dog came from nowhere. The kid was screaming, and somebody actually hit that person in, right? And so now, when this happened, they're giving you way too much information. First of all, I don't know too many stores that allow dogs in them, right? I don't know too many that allow that to happen. And if that is the case, chances are they're lying. Now, if you say to them, Brian, could you repeat that again? And they're like, what? What part? Well, like the whole story from the beginning. And they're going to get annoyed. Well, weren't you paying attention? Well, I was. There's just a lot of details there. I want to make sure I got them correct. But how do you cope with someone when they're a liar? Because that's going to put a level of disrespect in you for them, right? Are small fibs okay? No lies are okay unless we're talking about protecting yourself, like we talked about a child staying home or something like that. If a lie happens and there's no, I'm going to call it malicious expectation, usually the white lie is okay. But again, it to keep it in check here. People say, they want to spare somebody's feelings. And I would say to you, if you're lying because you're afraid of telling somebody the truth, well, they're probably not a good friend of yours anyway, or somebody you want to work with, right? Or be with. And so, how do you cope with the liar that keeps lying over and over again? It can be extremely frustrating. And it really can put some trying times on the bars of trust in your relationship. Almost take that pond that you had for years down to thin ice, where sometime it's going to just break and the relationship's going to be over. Remember not to lose your temper. Even though you're frustrated, just don't worry so much and don't be trying to, let's say, charge the person. That's really, really important. Expect denial. Okay. If someone denies what you say, don't try to be on like a court stand here and defend yourself. No, you're not trying to do that. You're just trying to figure out, is this person lying or not? Remember, it's not about you, it's about them. Be supportive if you're trying to. And if somebody lies on a consistent basis, of course, recommend medical help. Yeah, you heard me correctly. I said recommend medical help. When somebody lies, there's usually triggers in their life that caused a lie. Maybe you're talking about an ex. Maybe you're talking about a job they didn't like. Maybe you're talking about a trying time in their childhood. And when that happens, the person's trying to deflect or protect. And just remember, take it one step at a time. You're able to tell if someone's telling the truth easily. When it comes off naturally, you can tell that they're telling the truth. What's the goal of the lie? Is it to manipulate you? Is it to get money out of you? Is it to get some relationship with you? Is it to get you to do something for them? Right? So let's talk about something. What words does a liar use? Well, to be honest with you, to tell you the truth, believe me, let me be clear. The fact is. So, does that mean if somebody says, let me be honest with you, that they're lying? Not really. But if the person speaks like that all the time, then that's probably okay. But you should stay away from words like, let me be honest with you. I want to share what I know. And I know you may not believe me, but this is the truth. So that's important. Believe me, let's be clear. The fact is, okay. So what are some telltale signs? Did I do it? Of course not. When somebody skips contractions, I did not do it. When they're trying to be emphatic to prove to you through emotions, through verbal communications, through tonality, I did not take that tool, or I did not vote that way in the election. Okay. Or just, I didn't vote that way in the election. Very simple. It's this ego and subconscious that believes it has to prove. So that's why it does that extra stuff, right? If somebody starts to sweep back and forth, well, I would never be caught doing that, or I always make sure that I do it this way. If someone is trustworthy, you're going to know it, but don't tell somebody all the time to be honest, to tell you the truth. Believe me, let's be clear. The fact is this: hedging is another one. Well, that's as much as I can recall. If you really think about it, now what I remember is, or the way I see it, these can be hedging statements. You also want to avoid the I statements. Well, I believe this, I believe that. So that might seem oddly phrased in third person, but you don't bill hours that you didn't work. Instead of saying, I don't bill hours I didn't work. Or they'll say, the vase got broken, instead of I broke the vase. Right? Interesting, right? Avoid the I statements, right? So when somebody uses I, they're trying to prove to you that it was a different way than what you had expected, right? Do you really think I would do such a thing? Well, the fact that you're bringing up that statement probably is telling me that you're getting defensive and you're trying to, put a defense shield up. How can you doubt me? I have a right to doubt you. Sure. Don't you have something better to do? When people use words like this, it means they're trying to get you off the track. They know that you figured out that they're probably lying. And so they're hoping that you're going to go home, go away, just give up and forget doing anything more with this and stop analyzing it. Because what they're really afraid is that if you figure out what it is and now you tell somebody else, that could be a real, real big problem for them. Not for you, but for them. So if the lie is something that's happening and they're really concerned and they're very emotionally charged about it, they're going to fight tooth and nail to make sure that A, convinced you. Well, do you believe me? I do. Well, you don't seem like you believe me. Why should they care so much whether you believe me or not? Well, I wasn't at the playground yesterday. Okay. I can see in your eyes you don't believe me. No, I believe you. I'm telling you, I wasn't at the playground yesterday. I was with Jeff and Paul. And then I went and played video games at Paul's house. And then his mother made us dinner, and we had chicken cacciatore, and we had chocolate cake. He's getting into too many details, as opposed to, I didn't play football yesterday. I went to Paul's house, and we played video games. Then his mom made us some dinner, and there was some great cake. That's it. Okay? You see how I kind of just naturally rolled with that? Another political statement is, I did not say that when I was elected, or I did not tell the prosecutor that, or I did not say that I was innocent. I did not say that I would do this. I didn't say that I was going to hurt the American people. I didn't say that I was looking for an angle. The fact that you're trying to defend this so much, that makes me concerned. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I have an amazing, real amazing. You definitely want to come tomorrow. This lie tomorrow talks about the epitome of lying and how a lie took a very good friend of mine, almost gave him health concerns because of a lie. He actually got put under legal pretenses and was even arrested. Now, I want to share this with you because if you ever use a lie to do that under false pretenses, shame on you. If somebody ever does that to you, shame on them. But I'm going to share with you tomorrow, not only that, but how to protect yourself so that if that does happen by an unscrupulous person or even a friend of yours or ex-friend or ex-girlfriend, boyfriend, you know how to protect yourself from a legal standpoint so it doesn't escalate. Ladies and gentlemen, I am John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. It has been a great privilege, a pleasure, and an honor to be with you today. Ending here a little bit earlier than usual, but we're trying to get them in before midnight if we can. And, if you got value out of tonight's cast, tell others, but also, go to my YouTube channel, John Space E Space Morley Space Serial Entrepreneur, and look for the key phrase, help keep our content free. Below that, look for that link for PayPal and make the choice to buy my team and I a cup of coffee. We will be so grateful with those pennies and dollars. We'll invest them into new hardware, new technology, new equipment, new staff, and even new facilities to bring you the most jaw-dropping, motivational content to get you to take truthful action to become a better version of yourself and help other people become better versions of themselves. When we choose to act from our core, we're acting from truth. When we're doing something for the right reasons, we're acting from truth. If you believe that you're sharing something that is the truth, you're not going to have to convince somebody. They're going to know. If you're so worried about convincing somebody, then what is it that you have to hide? Ladies and gentlemen, once again, I'm John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. Rewatch this, share this with all your friends and colleagues. I'll be back tomorrow for the grand finale of how to deal with a liar. I hope this never happens to you tomorrow, but if it does, or you know someone, you're going to know how to protect yourself so that you don't go through unnecessary legal implications. Have yourself a wonderful night and a great morning, and I'll be back tomorrow with the grand finale.